Hey, so another thing that we've been working on for our film is we've been trying to find rehearsals to work with. We have a consistent schedule every single week, and uh, we try to meet up whenever we can. The issues that come up sometimes are when we can't find the time to meet up. It's difficult, when you are making a film and you're making a feature film and you're independent and you need all the stars to align so that everything works out. It can get difficult because you have a life, and the other actors and people on your crew have a life, so you have to keep in mind everything. At this point in time, if you were to make a film, one of the things you have to keep in mind is that everybody's doing it on their free time. I know Silhouette is taking a lot of time and effort on me, so I can imagine how much it would be for someone else. The way that my schedule works is that when I get up, I try to do a bit of writing after breakfast and taking a shower. I try to do a bit of writing in terms of either shot listing or working on a little bit of what's going on the script currently, planning for scheduling, and also just a little bit of planning on the next film that I'm going to be working on. But I'm not going to talk about that one yet. Um, so that's what I do. Then I go to work. Then I work. Then on my break there, I take out my laptop and I work for 10 minutes on the film as well. Then I go back to work. Then as soon as I get out of work, then I go home. Then I eat. And then I try as best as I can to go to work again. I try to work on my film as much as I can because because I need to use all my free time. And so when it comes to anyone making a film, they have to be an insane person to a certain degree. They need to be a little bit obsessed if they want to get things done. And so what I have done is I create artificial kind of deadlines for me to follow. So I know that I have a specific deadline at the end of the month, a specific deadline in a couple weeks or a week, and that's the work that I have to do. Now, my job really is to relieve as much pressure from everyone else as possible. Um, it'd be great to have a crew that could do some of the things that I've done, so that I could have relief pressure and some time to relax, but I don't. So my job is to make it easier for everyone else to do their job when it comes time. So when it comes to rehearsals, like I've said, we meet every week. My job is to try to make them not worry about anything else so that it's easier for us to meet up and to do rehearsals. That being said, you need to be okay with things causing tiny little stalls, like this past week we couldn't meet. That's fine. We tried to reschedule. It didn't work out. We always have next week. Um, uh, you need to work for the people that are in the project with you. They're not working for you. You're working for them. Uh, when you do that, then it creates the sense that you care about them and they're willing to put more work into it. Now, of course, there's going to be some instances where maybe people might take advantage of you and just not care as much as you do. But that's when you have those talks and you talk to them in a compassionate way where you understand that everyone is busy. You're doing more of the work, so then you should know that they're probably doing their own type of work that is super busy. Everyone has lives, everyone pays bills. If you're making a film, you're making it with all your body. And so the least you can ask for the people working for you is to just put some of it, but if it's too much for them, then it's fine. You understand. So this one didn't work out. It's fine. We're still moving forward. We know what scenes we're going to rehearse next week. But what I keep in mind is that they are people too, and that I am trying to work for them so that when we can work for the actual film, that it's going to come out a little bit better because they know that you're on their side. Um, they know that this production is being led by someone who cares about them and their livelihood outside of this film and everything else. So when everybody cares about the people involved, and hopefully they will put their extra foot forward when it comes go time. Yeah, so that's what's been happening at the moment. Is trying to keep in mind that people are people. Schedules don't always sync up, but that's okay. And so when you try to do a film, whether it's a short or a feature, that's the thing you got to keep in mind. I know it can be frustrating sometimes, but no one's getting paid, so why bother being frustrated? If you get frustrated, that's just energy that you're not putting into your film in the right way, um, especially at this level. When you do get money to make some sort of film, then there's a different expectation because now people are getting paid and they have a level of commitment that they've guaranteed that they would put effort into the project. But when it comes to the level that most people are, they have to keep in mind that this is all on everyone else's dime. Driving to the place where rehearsal is, paying for parking potentially, maybe getting food because you're hungry when they could have cooked at home. All this stuff you have to take into account, and you have to care about that for the sake of your crew, or else they're going to be worn out. And you don't want a worn out crew. I remember during the making of Way Down, my first film, there was a moment when we were having late night rehearsals, and everyone's schedule was so weird that it could only be at late night, and it was tough. Everyone was tired, but we pushed it. And then one of the people in the crew kind of had not a meltdown, but something close to that, and they were saying that it was too tough, it was too hard. It's so late. What are we doing? Type of thing. Like we're exhausted, and the only thing I could do was understand. And I walked up to this person. I said, "Yeah, I get it. When do you want to reschedule? If everyone can make it, we can definitely try our best to move it." And I think they were shocked at the amount that I cared about, them as people and not as props and as things to get my own goals. We were working on something together. I cared about them as a person. So that was a situation that was quickly squashed because they saw that I came from an understanding place. We were able to make the film in a much more open and comfortable environment. And the same thing with this one. Everyone's got their own thing. You got to keep that in mind. So, during this rehearsal process, there have been a couple of weeks where we've had to stall. It was either because of family things that have come up on their side or my side, or because of a sudden emergency that popped up. But that's fine. That's fine. I have artificial deadlines. That doesn't mean I have specific deadlines where I'll get castigated for not being able to make it. So I do have deadlines, and I would like to hit them, but I could always push them back a week or two. And as long as I know that this is going to be done, then I'll be able to push it. But the problem that everyone needs to keep in mind when making their film is that they themselves have to put 10 times more work than the people they're asking to do, and know that they're only doing that so it's kind of like parents, hiding problems from the kids. You got to do that in order for them to be okay to do their part. So if when things go out of control, just remember you have time. You have time. That's what we're working on. We're going to be back at it next week. I'm kind of excited for us to start hitting some of the more dramatic scenes, which should be happening in a couple of weeks in rehearsals, because that's where we get to really play. Now I've gotten a sense of Jonah's character in the film. I knew how she felt in the script, but going on its feet is a little bit different. And the thing that I try to do is I try to mold the characters from the actor after the script is done. So while I have one sense, they're really going to create a lot of the characters. So in rehearsals currently, we're trying to see how she feels in the serious and not so serious moments. And so that's why I'm curious about the dramatic parts. So we'll see what happens. I do know that she's a bit more quiet than I had anticipated before. The character, not the actress. So we'll see how that kind of work changes and manipulates what we're dealing with, especially with the more dramatic elements. But I'm excited. So that's what's happening right now. Hopefully we'll talk to you guys soon. But We're real excited. Please keep telling your buds about the Kickstarter, or not the Kickstarter, the crowdfunding effort we're doing, because we've got about 1,300 right now. We still need just a little bit more. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you later.